Friends, we're at a crossroads in America. The swamp, the elites, the globalists, they've had their turn, and where has it gotten us? A weakened America, pushed around on the world stage, our jobs shipped overseas, our values mocked, our borders overrun. But there's hope. What if I told you there's a path back to greatness? A way to restore America's global legacy? In today's video, we're diving into the top 5 reforms that former President Donald Trump could implement to do just that. Whether you're a supporter or a critic, these potential changes are sure to spark some serious discussion. Let's get started. Folks, remember the days when America was a manufacturing powerhouse? When we built things here, made things here, and the rest of the world envied American strength and ingenuity? Those days can be ours again. The first key to restoring America's global legacy lies in revitalizing our economy, in putting American workers first. And no one understands that better than President Trump. Under the previous administration, we saw factories shuttered, jobs shipped overseas to places like China, all while our leaders told us to just learn to code. It was a betrayal of the American worker, plain and simple. But President Trump, he knows we can do better. He knows that a strong America is built on a strong industrial base, on good-paying manufacturing jobs that can support a family. Bringing back American manufacturing means getting tough on trade. We have to stop these unfair trade deals that prioritize corporations and foreign countries over our own workers. We need to stand up to China, stop the cheating, and bring those supply chains back home where they belong. This isn't about protectionism, folks. It's about self-preservation. President Trump understands the importance of American energy independence. We can't let radical environmentalists and their Green New Deal fantasies cripple our economy and make us reliant on foreign energy sources. Unleashing American energy production will not only create jobs but also lower energy costs for hardworking Americans. And let's not forget about deregulation. The last administration tied American businesses in knots with red tape and bureaucratic nonsense. President Trump knows that businesses thrive when they're free to innovate and grow, not when they're drowning in paperwork. This is about more than just numbers on a balance sheet, folks. It's about restoring the dignity of work, about giving every American the opportunity to earn a good living and achieve the American dream. It's about making America the economic envy of the world once again. Let's be clear, folks. For too long, America has been played on the world stage. Our so-called allies have taken advantage of our generosity, while our enemies have grown bolder, sensing weakness. But under a Trump administration, those days are over. President Trump understands that the world respects strength and they despise weakness. It's time to rebuild our military, to make it clear that America will not hesitate to defend its interests and its allies. We need to stand up to China's aggression in the South China Sea, push back against Russia's provocations, and hold Iran accountable for its support of terrorism. But it's not just about military might, it's about smart diplomacy, about making deals that benefit America, not globalist institutions. President Trump proved that he could negotiate tough and get results, whether it was confronting China on trade or bringing peace to the Middle East with the Abraham Accords. We need to reassert American leadership on the world stage, but not the kind of leadership that gets us bogged down in endless wars. President Trump knows that America's sons and daughters should not be used as pawns in globalist games. We need to be strategic, to focus on our vital interests, and to never apologize for putting America first. This means rethinking our relationships with so-called allies who take us for granted. NATO, the European Union, they need to start pulling their weight, both financially and militarily. No more free rides, folks. America will be generous to its friends, but we will not be taken advantage of. This is about restoring respect for America abroad. It's about making sure that our enemies fear us and our allies respect us. It's about putting America first in all our dealings on the world stage. Chapter 3. Let's be honest, folks, our immigration system is a disaster. It's been exploited by criminals, by drug traffickers, and by people who want to come here and take advantage of our generosity without playing by the rules. But President Trump, he understands that a nation without borders is no nation at all. We need to finish building the wall, folks. It's not about being mean, it's about common sense. Every other country protects its borders, and so should we. A wall will help stop the flow of illegal drugs, human trafficking, and criminals who are pouring across our southern border. But it's not just about physical barriers. We need to enforce our immigration laws, end catch and release, and crack down on sanctuary cities that protect criminals rather than law-abiding citizens. We need to make it clear that if you want to come to America, you do it legally, you assimilate into our culture, and you contribute to our society. Now I know what the open borders crowd will say. They'll call us racist, xenophobic, all the usual smears. But this isn't about hate, folks, it's about love. It's about loving our country enough to protect it, to preserve it for our children and grandchildren. We need to reform legal immigration as well, to make sure that we're attracting the best and the brightest, the doctors, the scientists, the entrepreneurs who will make our country stronger. And we need to put American workers first, to make sure that American citizens have access to jobs and opportunities, before we import more workers from overseas. This isn't about closing our hearts, it's about opening them to the right people, to those who want to come here and embrace the American dream, not exploit it. It's about putting America first, always. Chapter 4. Friends, we live in a dangerous world. Our enemies are growing stronger, bolder, and more aggressive. China is building up its military at an alarming rate. Russia is flexing its muscles in Eastern Europe. And rogue regimes like Iran and North Korea are developing nuclear weapons. Now, more than ever, America needs to be prepared to defend itself and its interests around the world. President Trump understands that a strong military is the best deterrent against aggression. That's why he increased military spending, modernized our equipment, and rebuilt our armed forces after years of neglect. But we can't stop there. We need to continue to invest in our military to develop cutting-edge technologies like hypersonic missiles and artificial intelligence, and to make sure that our men and women in uniform have the resources they need to accomplish their mission. This isn't just about winning wars, it's about preventing them in the first place. When our adversaries know that we have the will and the capability to defeat them, they're less likely to test us. Peace through strength, that's the Trump doctrine. But it's not just about traditional military power, we also need to be prepared to fight and win in the 21st century. That means investing in cyber warfare capabilities, strengthening our defenses against electromagnetic pulses, and dominating the space domain. And let's be clear, folks, this isn't about starting new wars. President Trump has shown that he's not afraid to use American military might when necessary, but he also understands that war should always be a last resort. We need to be smart, strategic, and always put American interests first. This is about keeping America safe in a dangerous world. It's about making sure that our enemies know that we will not back down, that we will not hesitate to defend our freedom and our way of life. Chapter 5. Folks, let's be honest, our country is deeply divided. The radical left has been allowed to run wild, pushing their woke ideology, silencing dissenting voices, and tearing down the very fabric of our society. But President Trump understands that a house divided against itself cannot stand. We need to restore law and order to our streets. The defund the police movement is insane and dangerous. We need to support our law enforcement officers, give them the resources they need to do their jobs, and crack down on the criminals who are terrorizing our communities. But it's not just about law enforcement, it's about restoring respect for our institutions, for our history, and for our values. The left's assault on American culture has to stop. We need to stand up for our national anthem, protect our monuments and statues, and teach our children to be proud of their country. We also need to protect free speech, folks. The left is trying to silence anyone who disagrees with them. They're censoring people on social media, canceling people from their jobs, and shutting down any debate that challenges their radical agenda. But America was built on free speech, and we cannot let the woke mob take that away from us. And let's not forget about the mainstream media, folks. They're no longer journalists, they're activists, pushing a leftist agenda and smearing anyone who dares to question them. We need to hold them accountable for their bias and their lies. This is about taking back our country from the radical left. It's about restoring common sense, decency, and patriotism to our culture. It's about making America great again. There you have it, the top 5 reforms Trump could implement to restore America's global legacy. From bringing back jobs and securing our borders to projecting strength abroad and restoring order at home, these are the issues that matter most to the American people. These aren't just policy positions, folks, they're about reclaiming our country, about restoring the values that made America great in the first place. It's about putting American citizens first, always. What do you think about these potential changes? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content.